Richie here with Saturday Football. This is your college football week 13 prime time. There's a few games going on here, a lot of national conference races going on. First on Oregon, Arizona State. Oregon is number 6 in the country. If they want to try to sneak into that college football playoff, they got to win out. Arizona State is 5-5. They just need to win one of the last 2 games to try to get to a bowl game. Oregon came off a big win against Arizona, 34-6. Justin Herbert, 333 passing yards, 4 touchdown passes, and a pick. It put up 471 yards on offense. Defense had 6 sacks and only got 240 yards. Arizona State lost a really awesome game against Oregon State, back and forth, 35-34. Arizona State actually went for 2 late to try to take a lead. Didn't get it. Jaden Daniels came back to play, 334 passing, 3 touchdowns. Brandon Ayuk, 10 catches, 173 yards, and a touchdown. They put up 408 yards. They turned it over twice. Defense had 3 sacks. I think this could be pretty high scoring game, but I'm going to go Oregon here. Oregon's defense has been one of the best in the country all year. They still have a potent offense. Sometimes this year their offense has been kind of iffy, but I think they should have enough to score. Arizona State should put up some points. Like I said, I think it might be pretty kind of high scoring, but I'm going to go Oregon here, keep their national title hopes alive for at least another week. All right, then next you got an American, Houston and Tulsa. Both teams coming in with high aspirations. Both are not able to get to a bowl, but very strong teams. This could be a shootout kind of game. Houston lost to Memphis 45-27. Clayton Tune passed for 157 and a touchdown, ran for 65 and another. They only put up 256 yards of offense, but they have the potential to put up more. Tulsa coming off a bye, they had a huge win against UCF, 34-31. Quarterback Zach Smith played, passed for 127 and a touchdown, then he was hurt. Seth Boomer then came in, passed for 87 yards, touchdown, led them to the win. I think Smith might be questionable for this game, should be back. Defense had 6 sacks and forced 3 turnovers. Like I said, I think this will be a really good game. Tulsa has played really tough teams all year long. They beat UCF. They had a 30-9 lead against SMU in the 4th quarter. They missed a chip shot 29-yard field goal that would have beat Memphis. They lost 42-41. They were up on Oklahoma State at halftime earlier in the season, 21-20, and then lost. So I think this will be a good game. I'm going to go, that being said, I'm going to go with Houston here just because, I don't know, Tulsa has been too inconsistent. I mean, they've both been kind of inconsistent, but I like Houston's offense a little bit more. This is a really tough one. I think this really could go down to the wire, but I'm going to go Houston and get the road victory. All right, 1AA Abilene Christian playing Mississippi State. Mississippi State, they got killed by Alabama 38-7. They did run for 188 yards. They shouldn't have much problem with Abilene Christian. Mississippi State is 4-6. They want to win this, which I think they'll do, get to 5-6, and then the Egg Bowl the last week against their rival Ole Miss should be for try to get to a bowl game. So I'm going to go Mississippi State there. And it's actually pretty big for bowls. Tennessee Volunteers and Missouri Tigers, both 5-5, so whoever wins this will become a bowl eligible. Whoever loses this, though, will have at least one more shot their last weekend. Tennessee's coming off a bye. They beat Kentucky 17-13. Garantano came in to play for Hurt Brian Moore. I think it was 7. So he went 7 of 8, 115, 2 touchdowns. Marquez Callaway 4 catches, 1 of 3 and a touchdown. Missouri's coming off a 23-6 loss to the Florida Gators. Kelly Bryant, he came back. He played, passed for 204, but he threw a pick. They only had 52 rushing yards. Defense did have 4 sacks in that game. This is really tough for me because Missouri's been going on downhill. They've lost their last few games and haven't looked that good. Tennessee has won the last few games, so they're kind of at a crossroads right now. In my head, I'm kind of leaning towards Tennessee just because they've been playing better. It is in Missouri. They have Missouri by 4. Man, I'm gonna go Tennessee here. I just think they've been playing better as of late. All right, ACC Duke and Wake Forest. Duke 4-6. They've been floundering a lot. They need to win their last 2 games to get to a bowl. Wake Forest had a good start this season. Kind of gone down. They got clobbered by Clemson, but they have a chance to right their ship here and finish the season with maybe if they can win their last 2 games, they'll put them at 9-3. Maybe they win the bowl game, go 10-3. So that'd be a really awesome season for Wake Forest. Duke lost 49-6 to Syracuse. They got killed. Quentin Harris, 157 passing, 2 picks. They only had 279 yards, a turnover 3 times. Whereas Wake Forest, they got killed by Clemson 52-3. They had 105 yards of offense, 2 turnovers. Their defense did have 3 sacks. Throw that out the window. I think Wake Forest comes back to Wake Forest, Jamie Newman at quarterback. They still have a really potent offense, and I think Wake Forest should get it done here. All right, kind of an interesting Big 12 game. TCU at 5-5, trying to get to a bowl. Oklahoma 9-1, still have a shot maybe at a playoff, trying to get to that Big 12 championship game. TCU with their freshman quarterback Max Duggan has been playing really well. This is kind of a trap game or whatever for Oklahoma, because TCU, I mean, they could put up points, right? They could come out with a shocker. I'm not sure that'll happen, but it's possible. TCU beat Texas Tech 33-31. Dugan passed for 323, 2 touchdowns, ran for 75 more than a touchdown. Tay Barber, 8 catches, 137. They did put up 549 yards, so they can move it. Oklahoma, they had an awesome come from behind win against Baylor. They were down 28-3. Oklahoma came back to win 34-31. Jalen Hurts, I still think he's in the Heisman race, but maybe too little too late. Passed for 297, 4 touchdowns, and ran for 114 yards. They put up 525 yards, but they turned over 3 times. They can't do that against TCU. TCU may be able to capitalize on that and make him hurt. Defense had 3 sacks too. I think this will be the over-under 65. I do think it'll be high scoring, but I'm going to go Oklahoma. They just have too many weapons on offense. The freshman Dugan for TCU he's been playing really well, but even if he makes 1 or 2 mistakes, Oklahoma will make them pay like that. So I think that'll be the difference in the game. I think Oklahoma should come out on top. Oregon State and Washington State. The over-under is 75. That sounds about right. This should be super high scoring. Both teams 5-5. Both teams need to win one of their last 2 games to get to a bowl. Oregon State's coming off a really nice victory against Arizona State. They won 35-34. Jake Luton, 288 passing, 4 touchdown passes. Defense had 4 sacks, forced 2 turnovers. Washington State killed Stanford 49-22. Anthony Gordon, 520 yards, 5 touchdown passes. Max Borghi ran for 111 yards and a touchdown. Brandon Arconado, 9 catches, 142 and a touchdown. Esau Winston, 11 catches, 107 and 2 touchdowns. They put up 624 yards of offense. I can't wait to watch this game. I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun back and forth. I'm going to go Washington State with the edge here. Oregon State, I surprised everybody. This really could go down to the wire. It's got Washington State favored by 10.5. I think it'll be closer than that. But I think Washington State, just overall, they're just going to get it done. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I like them and I want them to, but I got Washington State there. All right, Utah and Arizona. Utah is trying to they're 7th right behind Oregon. If they can win out, they might be able to sneak themselves into the college football playoffs. Arizona, they started off this season 4-1 and a flounder. They've dropped to 4-6. They have to win these last 2 games just to get to a bowl. Utah killed UCLA 49-3. Tyler Huntley, 335 passing, 2 touchdowns, plus 1 rushing. Zach Moss, 127 rushing, 2 touchdowns. Brent Keithy, 5 catches, 132 and a touchdown. They put up 536 on offense. Defense had 5 sacks, 5 turnovers, and a fumble return touchdown. Arizona got killed by Oregon 34-6. They only had 240 yards. They did have 3 sacks, and that's about it. I think it's more of the same this week for Arizona. I think Utah, they have one of the best offenses and combination offense and defenses in the nation. And I think Utah should, they might, I don't think they'll have much of a problem with Arizona with the way Arizona has been playing. If Khalil Tate is playing and playing well for Arizona, of course, they always have a chance. But Utah's been really, really good this year. All right, you got Washington in the Pac-12 against Colorado. Washington, not as good of a year as they were hoping. They are 6-4, so they're going to go to a bowl. Colorado, the last 2 years, they just kind of floundered. They're sitting at 4-6. They have to win these 2 games to go bowling. Washington's coming off a bye. The last game was a ho-hum 19-7 victory over Oregon State. Jacob Eason was not good. He was 50% for 175 through 2 picks. Salvin Ahmed went off for 174 and 2 touchdowns. Defense had 4 sacks and allowed 119 yards in that game. It was Colorado's coming off a bye. They had a nice victory against Stanford a couple of weeks ago, 16-13. They ran for 172 after shot out their kicker because it was a defensive battle, not much offense. Evan Price was 3 for 3. And in that game, Stanford missed a field goal. So that was the difference in the game. That could have gone overtime, and who knows what would have happened. That being said, I'm going to go Washington here. Colorado's been... I think Washington's just a better overall team. Now, Colorado, it has Washington in my 14. I think that might be high. Colorado's offense is potent. Washington, Jacob Eason has been not that consistent, but I still think Washington ends up getting the victory in the end. All right, huge game in the Mountain West. Boise State, Utah State, both 5-1 in the Mountain West Conference, trying to get to that championship game. And Boise State trying to stay in the race to be the top group of 5 team to try to get to a New Year's Six bowl. Boise State demolished New Mexico 42-9. Their third-string quarterback, Jalen Henderson, came in because their first 2, Hank Bachmeier and Chase Cord, have been hurt on and off this year. But they keep rolling no matter who's in at quarterback. He came in, passed for 292 yards and 3 touchdowns. John Hightower, 4 catches, 124 and a touchdown. They put a 509 on offense. Defense had 4 sacks, 2 turnovers, and a fumble return touchdown. Utah State had a really big win against Wyoming, 26-21, to get themselves at least to bowl eligibility. Jordan Love, 282 passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, but it seems like he might not play. The backup Henry Colombi should come in. Sebastian Mariner, 4 catches, 123 and a touchdown. They put up 422 on offense, turned over twice. Defense had 4 turnovers in that game. This could be a game of backups. Henry Colombi has played well in spaces for Utah State. Boise State has shown they can plug in whoever, and they've gone 3 deep and get that production from their quarterback. Boise State's defense, I think, will be the difference in the game. They're one of the better ones in the country. And I think this has the potential to be a sort of a shootout, at least a close game, like a 27-24 kind of game, 30-27, something like that. But I think it ends up in Boise's favor with this. This should be a really interesting and fun game to watch. I can't wait for it. But I got Boise State getting the win there. All right, Nevada taking on Fresno. Nevada, they had to buy their last game. Was a really good game for them to beat San Diego State 17-13. Carson Strong 147 touchdown and pick. They only had 226 yards of offense, but their defense played great. Played a really strong team in San Diego State, and it got them to 6 wins for a bowl. Fresno State's been floundering this year. They're 4-6. They have to win these last 2 games just to get to a bowl game. Fresno lost their last game 17-7 to San Diego State. Jorge Reyna, 136 passing, 3 interceptions, not good at all. Only had 206 yards of offense. I do think this will be pretty close. I do think Fresno's been inconsistent. They can turn it on at any time. I really want to... It's got Fresno by 13.5. That seems too high. They are way too inconsistent there. But I will say... Oh, man, this is tough. I want to go Nevada. But, because as long as Reyna doesn't turn over, Fresno's got a pretty good shot. I'll go Fresno here. I'll go Fresno. Give Fresno a chance. Maybe they can go to the last weekend and get to the bowl. I'll go Fresno there. All right, then the final game of the night should be a pretty big one. San Diego State and Hawaii. Hawaii is 4-3 in the Mountain West, right behind San Diego State. If Hawaii can win this game, if I'm not mistaken, they will clinch that side of the Mountain West division and go to the Mountain West title game. If San Diego State wins, I think they'll clinch it. I think this is sort of like a elimination game to get to the Mountain West championship game. San Diego State, they beat Fresno 17-7. Ryan Agnew passed for 323, touchdown a pick. Jesse Matthews, 8 catches, 119. Defense forced 3 turnovers in that game and only allowed 206 yards. Whereas Hawaii had a nice win against UNLV, 21-7. They won mostly with their defense there. Cole McDonald came in because Chevin Cordero started and it was terrible. Cole McDonald came back in, passed for 211, ran for 43 yards and 2 more touchdowns on the ground. Jared Smart, 9 catches, 106. They put up 442 yards, but they turned over 3 times. You can't do that against San Diego State. Defense had 2 turnovers, a pick 6, and allowed 235 yards. I'm going to go with Hawaii here. San Diego State's really strong, one of the best defenses in the country. Ryan Agnew has shown he can pass it a little bit, but I think even as strong as their defense is, their offense is really not that good. Hawaii's been kind of middling on defense, but with that offense in Hawaii, if they put up even in the 20s, that might be too much for San Diego State. I'm going to go Hawaii here to get a really big victory and go to that Mountain West Championship game. I think this will be an awesome game. Two kind of opposite teams. Sort of one's built around their defense, one's built around that high-flying run and shoot offense in Hawaii. I think it'll be a very interesting matchup, but I'm going to go Hawaii there. Alright, so there are my picks and previews for prime time. We only got one full week left of college football, then a bunch of NFL, then the Bulls. So we're getting right down to it. Check out all my stuff. Leave comments, like, share, subscribe, everything. Peace.